In section 2.1.9, the following graph represents the results of a survey in which a random sample of adults in a certain country was asked if a certain action was morally wrong in general. We're going to complete part A through C below. Now let's take a look at the graph. The graph is titled Opinion Regarding an Action. You have depends on situation, morally wrong, morally acceptable, and down here you have the numbers from 0 to 100, which represents the percentage of respondents. So again, it's important to look at the graph first before you answer the questions. In part A, it says, what percent of the respondents believe the action is morally acceptable? Now the graph is a horizontal bar graph, so the lengths of the bars represent the data and the labels of the bars give the categories. So from the chart, about 72% of the respondents believe the action is morally acceptable. Part B, if there are 320 million adults in the country, how many believe that the action is morally wrong? Well, we have to first determine the percentage of adults who believe the action is morally wrong. So you take a look up here where it says morally wrong, and from the chart, it's about 17% of adults believe the action is morally wrong. Now the results on the chart represent the percentages for a sample. Those values can be applied to the whole population to make a prediction about the population. In order to find the percent of a number, you multiply the percent and the number. Therefore, the number of adults who believe the action is morally wrong is the product of the percent and the population. So you're going to have to multiply to calculate the number, rounding to the nearest million. So you're going to take 320 and multiply that by 17%. If you want to multiply that, you want to convert it to a decimal by moving it to the left 2 decimal places, which is 0.17, which is going to be rounded to 54. And therefore, about 54 million adults in the country believe the action is morally wrong. Now, in part C, it says, if a polling organization claimed that the results of the survey indicate that 11% of adults in the country believe that the action is acceptable in certain situations, would you say the statement is descriptive or inferential, and why? Well, let's go ahead and talk about the differences between descriptive and inferential. Descriptive statements give information that is known. Inferential statements use known information to make predictions about unknown things that are related. So therefore, this statement is inferential because it's making a prediction.